Hey everybody, let me know if you can hear me and see me. I'll give everybody a few minutes to sign on. I realize that this is not going to be ideal. I don't have the right setup. I'm reconfiguring my apartment at the moment, but you know, let's just get through these bumps this time and we'll make this a nice thing in the future. See, there were a couple of questions earlier on. Kieran says, I have two businesses that I want to rank high on Google Business. Will it affect me if both businesses have the same address? They're completely different business, plumbing and web design, with different phone numbers. If I use a UK national phone number, 033, will this affect my ranking compared to a local number? I'm starting out in web design. I can't afford SEMrush or Moz. I'm looking at SEO Power Suite as it is a low one-off payment. Will this be any good? Okay, let's back up. The first one is, yeah, it's probably not going to work that well if you have the same address. Maybe if it's a different suite number, you might be okay. I would try to do that. Maybe you have a neighbor or something. I actually had to do that for one of my courses. So, and then the other question, I'm not familiar with SEO Power Suite. I mean, I've heard of it, but I haven't used it, so I can't really help you with that, unfortunately. So, really appreciate your help. Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate you being here. Devendra says, hi, Chris. Hey, Devendra. And if I've mispronounced anybody's name, consider this the official apology for that. So, Scott says, hi, Chris. How many people are hoping to be here? Nervous? You know, the group has almost 13,000 people in it at this point, so who knows? You know, and nervous, I mean, maybe a little, but more because I'm afraid I'm going to, I don't know, because it's not the ideal audio and video setup right now. That's the main thing that concerns me. I like to do things well, so. But as far as talking in front of people, it doesn't make me nervous at all. I am a bit of an attention hoe that way. So DJ says, hey buddy, how's it going? Jamie says, smiley face. Hey. Mandy says, the shades. Well, thank you. It's kind of my trademark. It makes it hard to read the screen, but you know, I'm creating a brand here. Stanley says, hey, Mr. Walker, I own a power washing business, and if I have 10 houses in one city with great before and after pictures, what kind of file name should I put besides power washing Woodbridge, Virginia 1234? So what I would do is kind of have your brand name and then some LSI versions and just where it is and stuff like that. You don't have to go too crazy with it, just things like that, things that are relevant to the picture and to your business and to the keywords you want to rank for. So hopefully that makes sense. Jamie says, hey, Chris, thanks for the GSA blast you did for me. Awesome. Glad it helped. I'm sorry I thought it was fake, but you know, I won't get into why, but that's happened before, and I'll leave it at that. So, yeah. Masood says, hey, Mr. Walker, or hey, Walker. Hey, Masood. Stanley says, awesome, thank you. Thank you, man, appreciate that. And again, I know this isn't ideal. I'm kind of looking off and not looking at the camera, but the way my office is set up, I can't really put the camera in front of me, so I'm working on it. I'm going to probably apologize for that multiple times. So good memory. You know, I've always said that if I had a mutant superpower, that memory would be my thing. I can tell you the exact day and year and stuff that happens. I do that with my mom and it freaks her out. She hates it. So I do it more because I'm that kind of guy. So yeah, good strong memory when it comes to things like that. What's your favorite tool for, Mandy says, what's your favorite tool for bulk changing local addresses, as in Google Places, etc.? They're all really expensive in my opinion. I usually hire someone to do it, but if I were going to do it, I would probably use either Yext or Moz Local. But it's really, really expensive, and in my experience, it's easier to get someone to do it. So Devendra says, how has PBN linking strategy changed in 2018? Not that much. I am, however, using more guest posts as in addition to PBNs, and I'm finding that mixing it up actually helps create a little bit more power that way. So I'm not just 100% PBN anymore. I'm finding the guest posts work really well. So Mandy says, got it, thanks. Sloth says, best resource for increasing your local map listing. I actually have a post on my site. Maybe somebody can share that for me. but they kind of walk you through the whole process, and then I have a course for it as well. So me is basically my answer. Eric says, hey, Chris, thanks for all the great training. Just had a social signals done too. We'll see how it goes. Cheers. All right. And appreciate you being here. Appreciate you taking advantage of what we do. James says, any recommendations for complete SEO outsourcing? And once again, I hate to sound arrogant, but me. I'm going to start offering a kind of a white label, and I actually already have about 4 people on that. So I haven't really advertised it yet because I want to make sure I had the systems in place, but it's starting to go really well. So what you can do, just if you're interested in that, just PM me later, and we can see if it's a good fit. The point of this is not to promote my stuff, but I'm also not going to recommend someone else when I know that I can do it. So maybe that's whatever, but that's what I'm going to do. How many clients do you manage right now? You know, this is Scott. I'm actually scaling down my client portfolio and doing more managed services and type things, but right now I have about 14. Randy says, hey, dude. Hey, Randy. And by the way, Randy, I have almost finished with that thing that we talked about, so I'll let you know about that soon. Devendra says, I use press releases to pass juice, but nowadays it's not giving that great results. Is there any specific way to work out with that? You know what you do is in the group, you're going to tag Nixon Lee, and he's really great at press releases and knows the right way to configure them and stuff like that. So ask him. He can give you a better answer than I can. So Nixon Lee, just tag him, and he'll be happy to help you out. And he, full disclaimer, runs a service, but he does a great job and knows a lot about it. So Alan, thanks for posting that link. Randy says, cool. Yeah, it was a great idea, and I appreciate you making me think of that. It seemed like it was really well received too. So Devendra says he's using Nixon services last 3 years. I don't know what else to tell you. If they're not working, they're not working. But I like to do a branded, a URL, and maybe like a LSI link in them if they allow free. So that's about the best I can tell you. Kamal says, does Ahrefs give? Oh gosh, questions are scrolling by faster than I can read them. Does Ahrefs give the keywords that a YouTube video is ranking for in a Google search like it does for websites? I don't know. I've never used their keyword, like their rank tracker. I know that there's a guy in the group that has a nice software that works well for YouTube video ranking, though. It's Easy Video Ranks, so look into that. Randy says, by the way, just closed my 2nd client today. Awesome, great job, Randy. Glad to hear that. You're having a great week. James says, good. Do you offer proof examples that can be used to show potential clients as part of your white label service? No, it's going to be kind of like a you know me, you trust me kind of thing, because I'm not going to give out like client information and things like that. I don't think it's a good thing. So if that's what you're looking for, I can probably help guide you in the right direction, but it's just not something I have prepared. So Jamie says, Nixon Lee, please contact me. Sloth says, how do you manage all this on your own? I'm getting a lot of business, but it's starting to get me nervous about having to expand. I did this all on my own for a long time, but now I'm starting to add people. I have someone that manages my service business. He does a great job with it. Hopefully he's watching. And then I'm bringing on someone to help with the agency side of it. And I've been so busy with that I keep forgetting to get back to those people. So to that person. So if you're watching, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But my point is, I guess the answer is that once you get to a certain point, you're going to have to hire people. I waited much longer than I actually should have. So I guess that's the answer to that. Scott says, when buying expired domains for PBNs, is TrustFlow the best metric to look at, as well as link profiles? I don't do expired domains anymore, but yeah, you pretty much nailed it. TrustFlow and the link profile are the main things you want to look for, as well as relevance in the domain name and so on. So that's kind of the answer to that. But I don't find that they work as well as auction domains, so I recommend you go auctions. Alan says the Ahrefs does show YouTube rankings. So there you go. There's an answer for whoever asked that. Dominic says, do you have a standard basic process to rank websites? Yes, actually there's a video on my channel that shows you my complete step-by-step process. So go check that out at superstarseo.tv. Mandy says, Sloth, I have a free video training on how to successfully outsource and scale. Yeah, definitely ask Mandy. She's the expert at outsourcing and managing and growing a team. She's really good with that. So I actually almost referred that question to you, but I didn't know if you were still here. So, and you can post that in the group if you want. Maybe other people have need of that. So, because it's not something I'm great at. It took me a lot to do it. In the map, Eric says, in the map training, do you say to do it 100 times at least. Is that layers, or I'm not sure what you're talking about, buddy. Can you maybe clear that up? Slaw says, please, Mandy. Mandy says, thanks. Devendra says, link velocity. Do we have to care about that? There's a lot of people that have different opinions on that. I am of the opinion that just go for it. There's nothing you're going to do that you can't undo, and I'd rather get it done and then stall out than to take forever to get somewhere, especially with a client, because they're going to get pissed if they don't, pardon my language, if they don't see results right away. So Kamal says, thanks, Alan. It's very interactive. I appreciate that. I love doing Q&A too, so we can sit here all day if we want. And sorry about the light coming in. I have a great view behind me, which is awesome most of the time, but for this, it's not ideal. And I'm kind of stuck in a corner here. So I have a spare room that I'm going to turn into like a recording room, but I have to do that all myself. And well, I'm not, I have other things to do, I guess. So. All right, now a lot of questions coming in. Is that everything, or we got more? I said I'll stay here as long as there's questions, but Jamie says, what do you think of Cloud Rank for videos? I've had it since day one. It seems like a good software, and I like it in theory, but I really can't say that I've ever seen anything benefit from it. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but for me, I don't ever use it anymore. I'm paying for it for absolutely no reason. Kamal says, what makes Legiit different from other websites? Okay, so Legiit.com. So Legiit is going to be a marketplace that I'm launching hopefully within the next week. The main differences are going to be that I'm experienced as a seller and a buyer on these types of platforms. I have a lot of experience and made a lot of money on them. So I know exactly what both buyers and sellers look for. My goal is to make it to where sellers can create an entire business out of it and not just rely on the traffic from the site, to where they can grow customer lists and things like that. The site's going to be, and this isn't a dig at anybody, so don't interpret it as anything other than what I say. It's going to be secure. It's going to have support and be well managed. And like I said, you're going to get, it's being created by someone that knows that business and that business model. So you're going to have a much better group of features to allow sellers and buyers to have a good experience. So hopefully that makes sense. Orlando says, why do you have 4 different social signals product on your site? What's the difference? I think I have like 5 actually. There are, the difference, I mean, each one is a little bit different. One of them has a lot, one of them has slightly less, one of them has slightly less, one of them has even less than that, one of them is drip fed. Basically, I've made one for things that, for every situation that I can think of that people have asked me for over the years. So they all work the same. They're just either different amounts, or they're drip fed, or they're different networks. Basically, I'm just trying to give everybody what they want, you know, because that's business, right? So hopefully that answers that. Devendra says, why sunglasses in room? It's just my trademark. So maybe that's a little goofy, but you know, you see me, you see sunglasses. It's kind of my thing. Rahul says, I read on Neil Patel's blog, he says, if all your links will be from high authority sites, this can look natural and can result in penalty. I can't swallow this thing. What's your opinion? I'd have to see the article to answer that more specifically, but to me, that sounds like nonsense. Like, why would you go out of your way to get a link from a non-high authority site? What would that make? What difference would that make? I think there are better uses of your time. And I think that, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I would have to read the article to comment on what he said, but to me, just from that little bit of a question, sounds like nonsense. Zia says, hey, Chris, good to see you. Do you allow making multiple accounts on Legiit? I mean, I don't see why you would want to. I haven't necessarily written up terms of service yet, but I don't know. I don't see why you would want to do that. So Orlando says, P.S. Love what you're doing, or love what you're doing, Chris. Great community. Thanks a lot, man. It really means a lot to me. This is without a doubt the thing I like most about my business and am most proud of in it. So yeah. Zia says, as a seller, why? Probably not. I don't really get why you would want multiple accounts. So Jonathan Wells says, do you do any paid Facebook advertising? Absolutely. I spend probably $500 a day on paid advertising. That's probably where a lot of you found me in this group. And yeah, paid advertising is really a core of my business and getting clients and people into my business. So absolutely, I do a ton of it. Dominic says, in terms of doing client SEO, how would you approach getting new clients if cold calling and cold emails are not allowed by law in your country? Wow. Maybe LinkedIn and ads would probably be the way I would go. Facebook ads, Google ads, and LinkedIn. I haven't really had to think about that, but those would probably be the main things. That and content marketing. I've gotten a lot of clients and like business just from being everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. So those would probably be the main things I would do. Alan says, when you do embeds for YouTube, you use exact match for the Web 2.0 URL, correct? And title, etc. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Saeed says, hi, hey Chris, waiting for Legiit. You and me both, brother. It's almost ready. Ron says, I heard someone say that Google can see links from 2 tiers down. What's your opinion? Yeah, I think so. I don't worry too much about that as long as there's a nice buffer in between. But yeah, I think it can go as far as 2 or 3 back. But it's not something I worry too much about. Mandy says, for those of you like Sloth looking for help to get filling service, okay, check her out. She does a great job. Jamie says, bit of a long one here, but here we go. All right. I was considering setting up a YouTube channel with 200 videos on each video has the first minute of my hour-long video on another channel. Each of the 200 videos has different keywords to try and rank different terms. Each of the 200 videos at the end has a card linking back to my hour-long video. Have you tried this? So I guess what you're asking, you're kind of like daisy chaining your videos together, video number 1 to video number 2 to video number 3. If so, then yeah, that's actually great to interlink your channel because you're going to encourage people to stay on YouTube, and YouTube is going to reward you with improved ranking and improved traffic and things like that. So Scott says, and if, Jamie, if I didn't answer that correctly, then if I didn't get the question right, then just clarify for me. Scott says, when Legiit comes live, which services would the awesome now Chris tell the Chris of years ago? So I guess what you're asking is, what would I do differently? I would have gotten PBN links up sooner, although I wouldn't have wanted to do that on some of the other marketplaces because the traffic is too high, but I think it's worth it. I would have collected, I would definitely have started getting people into my business a lot sooner. And that's one of the things that I'm going to encourage in Legiit is people to grow their own business, email lists, social media, however you want to go about it. But that's the main key is getting a legit business where you can see what I did there. A legit business with like a Facebook group and an email list where you can constantly reach out to your customers and get them back into your business. I think a lot of people that do quote unquote freelance, they overlook that and just rely on the traffic that the site provides, and they don't build a business out of it. So Jamie says, I only come back because you're replying so quickly, etc., and seem to care. Well, thank you. And it probably sounds cheesy, but I do. Like, I don't know if you watched my goals for the year, but was to help 100 people quit their job, and I do care. Like, I don't know. To me, it's important to give back, and I won't get into a whole philosophical thing, but to me, it's important that your livelihood helps other people as well as yourself. So, Kamal says, I saw your Google image ranking technique. What is minimum SIN-wire submits we should do to rank the image? I honestly don't know. It probably doesn't take a ton though. But the more you have, the better. But the ones that seem to work well for me are the high authority, like Web 2.0s, like what do you call it, Blogger, and like Tumblr and things like that. And then Pinterest works really well. So focus on those, and then Twitter, and make sure you have as plenty of those as you can afford. But basically, the answer to how many does it take is keep trying it until you find how many it takes to make it work. I hate that answer, but it is what it is. Mandy says, one of my SEO vendors is pitching the Google Cloud link services. Thoughts on impact of this? They basically build a bunch of Google properties and interlink them strategically. Never tried it. Yeah, actually, it works pretty well. I have a feeling it's not going to work forever, but right now it works pretty well. One of my friends and colleagues, Iman, who he should be watching. If not, I'm going to be mad at him. But he offers a pretty great service for that, and it works pretty well for now. I don't think it will ever cause any problems, but I have a feeling it's going to stop working eventually, because it's kind of gimmicky, but for now it does work pretty well. That's kind of what I did with the Google image video I put out yesterday, to a lesser degree. James says, have you noticed YouTube video SEO power change from links to engagement watch time for local rankings? If you mean within YouTube itself, that's definitely true. As far as ranking in Google, nah, it works the way it always has, at least in my experience. So Saeed says, what payment methods will Legiit have? So to begin with, we're going to have PayPal and some sort of credit card processing, probably Stripe or something else. But then I really want to add, what do you call it, Payoneer, because I know that's important to people overseas. And I think that's probably why you're asking. And in theory, I would love to add Bitcoin too, but we'll see how that goes. And then as time goes on, we'll adapt. Jamie said, I'm actually setting up 2 channels. One channel is Legiit, laugh out loud. The other one is spamming with the 200 videos, all pointing toward my main channel. Okay, so you're creating like kind of like a PBN network, but with YouTube videos. I haven't tried that. So, but if it's YouTube, you're trying to rank in, you're never going to get penalized. Well, it's always good to keep people on YouTube. So however you go about that. So right. Tim says, help me. Isn't that a Beatles song? You're going to have to be more specific, bro. Jamie says, oh, thanks, man. Helping others helps yourself. Exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way. Carlo says, hey, Chris, with your one-time fee homepage links, are they permanent or just 12 months? They're basically permanent. I mean, 10 years from now, who knows? But I keep the sites active and I keep them up. And some of them have been there for a long time. And once they get over 20 posts, I don't add anything more to them. They just kind of sit there. So that's why I had to increase the price from $15 because it wasn't profitable. So hopefully that answers that. Zia says, what I meant by multiple accounts is to give a variation in pitching to potential buyers. This could increase the potential to getting clients depending on the way you put it. I'll have to think about it. That's the best answer I can give you for right now. I don't want to commit to anything. Raul says, so I set up IFTTT and I plan on using them for tier power to tier 1. Can Google see that all the links are connected in a link wheel fashion? At LinkedIn Connect, can't Google see all the links are being posted on one LinkedIn account? What's your thoughts? They don't have a problem with you syndicating content. So if you have it connected to your channel or to your blog or whatever, and it's syndicating out to a bunch of social properties, they're okay with that. They realize that people are going to do that. So if that's your question, then you'll be fine. Devendra says, what's the best ranking factor strategy for ASO? ASO, Apple App Store, maybe? Is that what that means? Recently onboarded an ASO client. If that's App Store, I have no idea. I've never done it. So somebody asked in the group a while back, so maybe do a what do you call it? A search? That's a tough word to remember. A search in the group and see what the answer was then. Jamie says, if one of my PBNs gets banned, would this ever affect my money site? If you mean de-indexed, yes. I tend to remove them. If the ranking drop, well, let me put it this way. If I get I've only ever had a couple PBNs de-indexed, and that was because I did something dumb. But basically, if it gets de-indexed and your ranking drops, then remove it. If it gets de-indexed and your ranking doesn't drop, then leave it alone. Hopefully that answers that. Scott says, what are your go-to tools to rank anything? Cinewire, SERP, yeah, I use both of those heavily. That's pretty much it, really. But that's one thing I've phased out a lot in my business is a lot of tools. I still have all of Majestic and Ahrefs and all those, but as far as actual ranking, yeah, I mean, mostly, this is going to sound arrogant, but I know I can rank for anything if I put my mind to, so I don't need a ton of tools. But Cinewire I use for a lot because it's so versatile, and then SERP I use because of the same reason. It does so many different things, but unless I'm forgetting something, that's about it. So Alexander says, I'm trying to rank for Web Design Boston, and I see a couple competitors that rank higher than me, and they don't even have a website. Do you know how to manage to rank? So do they have Facebook profiles or Yelp profiles or something like that? I'm not sure what you're at, if that's what you mean. If so, then you can outrank those things. Those are just Web 2.0s. They're using Parasite. So just you can do it, but that's probably a real tough term. In fact, I think there's somebody else on here that ranks for that term already. So Saeed says, you read my mind. Payoneer would be an awesome integration. I can promise it won't be there at the beginning, but it's on my list of things that I want the developers to do. So hopefully we can make that happen, because I know I've had several people from overseas ask me about that. So, and I know it's been an issue on one of the other sites. So Alan says, oh, I'll do a Web 2.0 blast for only 1 Bitcoin. Alan is actually really funny. Just ask him. Ron says, have you ever had a competitor buy a PBN link, then report it to Google? No, not that I know of. That's pretty nasty. So Tim says, you want to help 100 people quit their job. How do you plan to do this? By giving them the right tools, training, and mindset to do the things that I've done that help me quit my job. Basically, what's worked for me anytime I've improved myself or my business is learning new things and getting new ways of doing things. And I'm basically going to try to help people replicate what I did. So hopefully that helps. Matt says, should include internal linking for my agency site. So I guess what you mean is, should you link pages on your agency site to other pages on your agency site? Absolutely. Yeah, and interlinking is very powerful. Matt again says, how to test expired PBN domain to see if it will index or figure out why it is not indexing. Set it up, put a dummy article on it, and just let it sit for a while, maybe even a month. And if it still isn't indexed, you probably have a problem. You can send it some social signals or submit it to Search Console. And if it still isn't ranking, you probably have one that's got a pure spam penalty. You can check it in Webmaster Tools at that point. That's the last thing you want to do. And if it still isn't indexing, then there's something I've never seen before. So, Orlando says, is SynWire Source Machine worth getting? Is it a must? Well, Source Machine has been down for quite some time, and I don't have this on as a fact, but I strongly suspect it's not coming back. SynWire, on the other hand, is a super duper tool. Super duper is an actual technical term. But no, it's a great tool. I recommend it a lot. And I'm not even an affiliate, so you're getting, just my pure opinion. Not that you wouldn't anyway, but just in case anybody's wondering, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. It does so many different things, and it's so powerful. So yeah. So yes, it's worth getting if you have a reason to get it. Don't get it just because I said it was worth getting and you think it's cool. But if you have a reason that you want to use it, yeah. Cody says, how many embeds should we do for a custom Google My Maps to start seeing the needle move for low, medium competition keywords? Also, what's the average time frame you start seeing those results? How many embeds should we do for custom Google? I hate this answer, but it just depends. But what I like to do is I do a set of 50 Web 2.0 embeds, and then 5 to 10 PBN embeds, and then the 125 custom maps, and go from there. But there's so many other factors, it's hard to say with just you need to get X, Y, and Z. I wish that I wish SEO worked like that, there was a formula where I could just plug in this many of this, this many of this, and this many of this. But it's more of an art. It's almost an art as much as it is a science. So hopefully that helps. Also, what's the average time frame to start seeing results? And again, I hate to keep saying that, but it just depends. Jamie says, Becker keeps appearing on every YouTube I watch for the ad. I'd like to wonder, somebody just put a mad reaction. That hurts my feelings. I'm very sensitive. Becker keeps appearing on every YouTube I watch for the ad. Is there anything I can do about this? Never touch anything that he does anywhere. But that's about it. He's really, really good at retargeting, and he's taught me a lot about it. So yeah, there's not much you can do about that. I just deal with it. Ads don't really bother me like they do some people though. So now I'm getting some hearts. So thank you. My self-esteem is restored. James says, what would you rather rank? Website, video, maps, other. Organic for sure. Still where I get the most traffic from. Again, it depends on the industry. Restaurants do better with Google Map ranking, but overall organic website is where I go. So Devendra says, best paid guest post gigs on Conquer or any other marketplace. What I use for guest posts are love2.link. That's a website, love2.link. It makes it real easy. They do the outreach for you. They already have vendor or site owners that they have established relationships with. There you go. Jason says, what's up, dude? Hey, Jason. Jason, by the way, has a video that ranks for my name. So if you Google Kristen Walker, there's a video on page 1 that's not ranked by me. Kind of annoys me, but at the same time, the content in it is much more valuable than anything I would rank myself. So Scott says, who's your favorite to win WrestleMania 34? Now that's a big question that we should probably spend some time on. I don't know yet. Who do I want to win would be a lot different than who I think win. I think that we're going to see Roman Reigns end up winning the main event against Brock Lesnar. They just seem dead set on that, and They're not going to undo it. So I've come to accept our fate on that. Devendra says, if you would want me to start a profitable and scalable gig on Conquer or Legiit or any other marketplace, then which would it be in less amount of time? So I don't want to give a specific recommendation because everybody here will go do that then. But what you need to do is, okay, there's a few techniques you can use. One, you want to, and I'm going to be putting out a course on how to do this pretty soon, but you want to identify something that sucks, that people hate to do, and then do it for them. You want to identify something that you know how to do and you're really good at, and you can do that for them. I just got another hate emoji. See how sensitive I am? I'm like losing my whole train of thought. I'm just kidding. And then you want to figure out, like, if you have a tool that you've bought, you want to leverage that. Like, so I had SynWire and I started selling SynWire blasts to like take advantage of that. So hopefully there's that. Those are some main things off the top of my head. Now Matt just made a hate emoji just to distract me. Thanks a lot, buddy. See if I answer your next question. But yeah, so that's the main things. Look for things that people hate to do and do that for them, because or look for things that you hate to do and do it for people, because then you're finding, because if you hate to do it, then other people probably hate to do it too. Look for tools that you have that work well, that you can leverage and sell to other people that maybe they want to do it from time to time, but not all the time. Like they don't have enough to invest in the tool, and then look for things that other people are selling and that you can do better. So hopefully that answers that. Jamie says, what are the top tools for you are using all the time? SERP I use every single day. And then I use SynWire quite a bit. That's pretty much it. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't even use like ClickFunnels or anything like that anymore. So those are the main two I use. Brandon says, are we still on for Legiit on the 1st of February? There's 2 more issues we really need to sort out before we can go live, but I'm confident that my developer, who may or may not be watching this, can get those sorted out and we can drop then. But if not, it'll be a day or 2 after that. But I'm really hoping for it. So I'm doing my best. Raul says, do you care about the links showing in Search Console? Whenever I create links, I see improvement in rankings, but those links don't appear in Search Console. No, don't care about that. Like, it only picks up a fraction of what's out there. Google tools are some of the worst when it comes to things like that. So excuse me one moment while I get something to drink here. All right. Lauren says, would you be doing any retargeting training? You know, I was talking to somebody about, not this specifically, but similar to that, is I want to start doing more than just SEO training, because SEO is just like one key or one piece of growing a big business. So I definitely will start doing some more marketing training, kind of like I did with my Facebook course, which I have a blast doing because it's something that I really enjoy. So maybe is the best answer I can give for that right now. Brandon says, how do you find PBN domains to buy and develop for your clients and the PBN service you offer? And which shampoo do you use? Well, let's address the important question first. Which shampoo do I use? I actually had to change brands here recently. And I know it's tragic, but my hair artist, not stylist, artist, she's an artist, recommended a new one. And so far I'm liking the results. It not only gives it a nice lively feel, but it has a great smell to it. So you think I'm probably joking, and I am a little bit, but that's actually the truth. And then how do you find PBN domains to develop for your clients? I have certain metrics that I look for, and I have someone that goes out and finds them for me. For a long time, I did them myself, but again, I'm trying to, as Mandy is an expert at, I'm trying to grow more of a team, so I have to do less of that stuff, and he does a great job for me. So, in fact, he does such a great job. I don't get around to buying them sometimes. So Jamie says, does Becker actually own the sports car in his ads? Yes, I've been to his house. I've seen the car, and he's had it there for years. So yes, he does. Luis says, love to, no, it's LOVETO .link. So if somebody could drop that in the chat, that'd be great. So Brandon says, if you see no hate emojis, you're not making an impact. You should look forward to some hate. Yeah, I'm totally just kidding. So Raul says, how do you chill? Man, I could really stand to get better at that. I'm not gonna lie. I like professional wrestling. I watch that. I don't watch it from week to week anymore because the shows are so long, but I watch it when
Could you say that again?
My Amazon Echo just triggered. But I watched that. I lost my train of thought. I I watch the pay-per-views on that. I like to work out, and occasionally I like superhero shows, so like the DC ones. So those are the main things I do, but I definitely need to get better at relaxing. Lily says, are you recording this? Yeah, like Facebook automatically will upload it when it's done. Orlando says, why do you host your site through Kajabi? Well, my agency site, I don't, but the training courses I do, because Kajabi is just amazing at that. Like, it's so easy to use. It's a little expensive. Actually, it's quite expensive, but it just works so well. Really, it's honestly, it's one of the, everybody likes to promote ClickFunnels as the best thing since sliced bread, and it's a really powerful tool. Kajabi blows it away, in my opinion. So Alan says, Jamie, yeah, Becker owns the card. Yes, he does. And then there's a link to Love to Link. James says, what's the best advice Becker gave you? To have a core product for my business, which is what Legiit is going to be. Because I was kind of like all over the place. You know, I had my services, and then I had my agency and affiliate and this and that and the other thing. But the advice he gave me, among many things, and I paid a lot for it, so I can't give a lot of information out. But the best thing I got from him is to have satellite products, for lack of a better term, that drive everything back into your core product. So having a core product is something that I was missing, and it's something that I got from him that I'm very grateful for. So Pat says, do you have a method of outranking a YouTube video with your YouTube video and Google search? So what you're saying is there's one already showing and you want to outrank it. You just got to keep firing links away at it. The thing with YouTube videos and Google search is that they're generally, and this isn't always the case, but a lot of times there's only going to be one video per term. So you just got to keep working on it until it replaces the other one. So what sucks is it's not like with a website where, you know, you'll start on page 6 and then it'll go up to page 5 and then to page 3. With this, you'll just keep firing away and you won't see any progress at all. And then one day it'll replace the link, or the video that's already there. So, that, you know, means like social signals, links, embeds, that sort of thing. Jamie says, did you say you're outsourcing your PBNs? Could you talk a little bit more about this? Are they getting the high DA doing total cost? I'm not outsourcing. I guess it depends on what you mean. I have someone that goes twice a week under the instructions I gave him to find under the metrics that I promised on my sales page. And he goes out and finds a list, and then I go over to GoDaddy or wherever and bid on them. So I don't outsource the building of them. Well, I actually do have someone that does makes them look pretty. But basically, I just send him, I gave him a list of things that I want him to look for. Twice a week, he uploads a spreadsheet, and I pay him for that. So, and the main things I use Majestic metrics for the ones that I sell on my shop. And for clients, I do that as well, but I try to find one specific to that client as well. So they may not have what a lot of people think of as traditional power, but they'll be more relevant. So hopefully that makes sense. Brandon says, I would like to know more about the PBNs too. Does this guy who gets them for you offer services to other people too? I can talk to him about it, but as long as it doesn't affect me. But yeah, basically, I just gave him a set of stats that I wanted him to find, and he goes and finds them. So that's the best answer I can give you right now, but I'll talk to him and see if it's something he wants to do, because he's always looking for more work. So we'll see. Orlando says, look forward to your white label SEO. I'd be interested when the time comes. Thanks, man. Before I offer something like that at volume, I want to make sure that I have the staff and the systems in place to execute it to the quality that I'm used to giving. That's something that has probably held me back from growing, is that I demand a certain level of quality. Like, I could probably put that out right now and get a bunch of sales, but I want it to make sure that it's good. It seems like that should be common sense, right? But not necessarily. So Raul says, who's your favorite wrestler? Currently, you know, the current product isn't great for me right now. It's not my favorite. All time, it was Hulk Hogan when I was a kid, and even somewhat until he turned out not to be such a great person. And then as a teenager and early 20, it was Chris Benoit, and he turned out to be an even worse person. So overall, I would probably say it was CM Punk, who's now actually in UFC. CM Punk he's someone that I relate to personally quite a bit, and he was also a very good wrestler. So those are probably my 3. So Jamie says, have you ever done GSA to a YouTube video? What were the results? Yeah, that's actually part of my YouTube video gig. is a GSA blast. It helps some. It's not as powerful as it used to be, but it does help diversify the links and give it more power. So it helps some. Scott says, which common SEO mistakes make you chuckle? Thinking too much. People make things so hard on themselves. Like they want to, drip feed this and do that and link velocity. And not that there's anything wrong with any of those things, but just they make it so hard, and it's really not very hard. Just figure out what you want to rank for and make links with those kinds of anchor text and diversify them. That's a bit simplified, but essentially that's what it is. So overthinking is the one that probably makes me chuckle the most. So Dawn says, I have 2 websites. Would it be okay to load both of them in the SendWire RSS tool, or does that make it look too obvious that to Google that I have links going back to both my sites from the same 2.0s? Still learning how to get the most out of SendWire, and frankly, their training isn't all that. Their training could be better. Probably not. What you can do is create a campaign for each. A lot of people don't seem to take advantage of that in SendWire, but so suppose your site is pettoys.com. You can create a set of accounts for pettoys.com and then create a campaign and then have the trigger go just to the profiles in that campaign. And then you can do the same thing with cattoys.com. So yeah, if that makes sense. That way it will only post to those particular ones if you're worried about crossing streams too much. So I think it's probably how they intended it originally. I have found ways to leverage that to more power. So Sasa, hopefully I pronounced that right, says, I'm currently going through your local SEO course. Interesting stuff. Thanks for the info on this. Much appreciated. Appreciate that. I'm glad you're getting some value out of it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you get some benefit from it. Jamie says, with so many SEO activities you need to do, how do you stay on top of everything while making money at the same time? Oh, as I said, I waited way too long to start hiring people. And so basically I just gave up sleep for a long time. Now I'm starting to bring people into my business to help me manage that. And I still do get behind. I've had times when I just forgot to do a proposal for someone, and that obviously costs me money. But the key is to find talented people and let them do what they're good at. So, and then you just kind of have the vision and the overall. At some point, I'm probably going to get to the point where I even get a CEO or something like that. I don't know, what title it would have, but someone that actually manages the business. And then I just focus on the advertising and the driving customers into the business and just the overall vision, but I'm not quite there yet. So the short answer is get people that are good at different things that you need done and let them do it. So even if you have to give them some money, a good amount of money to do it, it's worth it. Tim said, if you were to start over, you only have a laptop, cell phone, and $100. What's the one thing you would do to start making money? Your own products you cannot use? I'd get a job. Honestly, with $100, I would get a job first to establish my, don't go hungry money. And then I would just work every other hour of the day on probably selling cheap services and things like that. I would start a YouTube channel and things like that. Probably do a little bit of affiliate marketing. I'd start working on growing a list. I'd create a webinar and try to drive some traffic to that. So that's probably what I would do. And he says, Mandy, we've been testing for a few weeks and are seeing steady movement up in SERPs. He's probably talking about the Google stack, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go, Mandy. Jamie said, the local SEO will probably launch my biz. Thanks. Oh, awesome. Glad to hear that. Raul says, if you don't use Search Console, then how do you keep track of your links? What's indexed, what links are picked by Google? Thanks a lot for your time. So Search Console, if you're talking about campaigns that I run, SEO campaigns, I keep track of all of it myself, with spreadsheets and things like that. And then you can, that's pretty much the answer to that. I mean, if you're doing it, if it's your campaign, you should keep track of it yourself and not rely on Search Console or any other tool for that matter. That's something I've had to learn in business, is that never rely on other people's platforms or products or things like that. As much as you can create and own and control yourself, you need to do that. So hopefully that answers that. Jamie says, I'm funding my business with my job. Then I work from 5:30 to 10 p.m., 11 p.m. When I work weekends, got to work hard for the money. Absolutely. Great comment. The way I did it was I had a regular 8 to 5 job doing tech support for a real estate developer. And what I would do is, fortunately, they didn't ever ask me why, but I would stay right there at the office and just keep working on my business until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night sometimes because I had a better computer than I did there at home. And plus there was like a psychological thing to it. While I was still there, I was in like work mode. If I went home, I would end up like relaxing and watching TV and stuff, which I've had to overcome since I work from home now. But yeah, I agree. That's the right philosophy and the way to go about it. So let me grab a drink real quick. Brandon says, how do you find the right people to hire? I've tried doing this by hiring from Upwork, but it was impossible to find someone who would do it to the same level of perfection or even 75% of what I do. It is a struggle. I've been fortunate in that I found a few gems, but you just got to make it clear what you want and hire quick, fire quicker. So if they're not doing it right, just let them go. So it's your business and you have to have the right quality. If you dig long enough, you'll find someone that'll do what you need them to do. So, or what you can do is find someone that's offering the thing that you need them to do, have them do it for you a couple times, see if you're happy with the quality of work, and then try to bring them on full time. That's kind of one of the approaches I've taken. So hopefully that answers that. Orlando says, do you use any project management software? I'm undecided on Basecamp. To coordinate with my team, I use Freedcamp. And then I've also used Salesflare in the past. That's more of a CRM, but it helps with that too. But Freedcamp I like a lot because it's free, and it really organizes things well. So Jamie says, who are up-and-comers in the SEO scene that you either learn from or keep an eye on? Up-and-comers. There are a lot. What I've found is there are a lot of unsung heroes. And like people in different groups and things like that. I don't want to drop any names because I don't want to offend somebody that I don't name. But keep an eye on like groups, because like there's someone I have in mind in this group that no one's ever heard of, but knows. Anytime I have a question, it's one of the people I go to, and he always has the answer. So I don't want to name drop, but they don't have to necessarily be somebody you've heard of. Just be a part of the community and find people that seem like they know what they're doing. So hopefully that answers that. Vinay says, love your videos. Thank you very much. And info. This might be a novice question. Just to interrupt myself there, even if it is, that's okay. I have no trouble with any level of question. I hate when I see that in other groups. Anyway, but how do you pick and implement new SEO strategies or products? Meaning, do you have a few test sites? And how long do you wait before implementing the gray hat stuff to client or money sites? The truth be told, the process hasn't changed that much in the years I've been doing it. Generally, I use my own agency site as kind of a test site because I know I can always fix it. And truth be told, I don't care that much if it affects the ranking on it because it doesn't. It is what it is. So I don't know. I haven't tried that many new strategies because it's really not necessary, but if I find one, I'll usually test it on my site. If I'm happy with the results, then I'll move on to client or other money sites. So hopefully that answers that. Raul says, what's the biggest quality that you lack and want to improve over it? Managing my time better. Like I have so many things that I'm trying to do that I end up not doing a bunch of them. And I need to get more focused and more, I don't want to say organized, but I guess organized. So I need to see things through to completion, and to do that, I need to be more organized. So that's kind of where I would answer that. Ron says, do you have a Windows program to check Google rankings for your site in your location? Targeting like 20 keywords and doing them manually in incognito mode. A ProRank tracker has a feature that works pretty well for that. Like you can actually put in where you want to check from. I think SERP has something like that too. But ProRank tracker, I can kind of see them at a glance, and that's kind of what I use for that. So Salah says, I have a client who wants to start a drop shipping site. I suggested he purchase their domain with good metrics from GoDaddy auctions. Does it make sense to just purchase a domain from a person like you versus doing it myself? Not looking spending time to try to find one. So for e-commerce, I think that a brand is more important than like a powerful domain. So I would just figure out what the name of the brand is and get a domain as close as possible to that, as opposed to trying to find an expired domain or an auction domain with a lot of power. Because for the most part, you're not going to get a lot of traffic to an e-commerce store from SEO. You're going to have to do it with linking, with ads and things like that. So I would just pick whatever the name of your shop is and go from there. So let me grab a drink. Ismar says, what's up, Chris? Looking cool. Wow, thank you. Thank you. I do my best. Actually, yeah, no, I don't care at all. By the way, that's always a huge joke. I'm just trying to be funny when I do that handsome hair thing. So some people may not get the that I'm being ironic. So there you go. Sasa says, do you have a blueprint document to follow for link building strategies and volumes when building a new WordPress site? Yeah, check out the video on my site. It's like my exact ranking process leaked, something like that. So that one basically says step by step what I do. There goes another hate emoji. Thanks a lot, guys. Ishmar says, how does it feel to be live? You know, and at first I was a little concerned, but I've actually enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys have too. And hopefully it's been beneficial to somebody. Kamal says, the most handsome man in South Carolina. You know, I still didn't beat out Aziz Ansari. I'm still upset about that. You know, him and his Golden Globes and his really interesting TV shows and stuff. So I'm holding a grudge on that. Now I'm seeing lots of love emojis come in. Thank you. I need the appreciation. All right, guys, anything else? The Ray Charles of SEO. You know, I thought about that because I'm not looking at the camera and I have the glasses on. I really am going to look like I'm a blind guy. But not that, you know, that's something to make fun of. But yeah, like I said, I realize this isn't ideal. So, but yeah. Live is cool. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to start doing one of these a week, actually. So I was worried that not a lot of people would show up, but this has been awesome. This has really been a lot more fun than I was expecting. Brennan says, that was for me. Oh, I know it was. The hate emoji. That's because you've been lying to us. You aren't obsessed about your hair. Hard to believe. Well, I mean, who couldn't be a little bit? I mean, I'm trying to be humble now is what's happening. Yeah. But I mean, it's a huge running joke of mine. And it is something like well, anyway, I'm afraid that people are going to think I'm really that vain. But, you know, whatever. I can't please everybody. Rahul says, thank you. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate that. Jamie says, for Love to Link, how much has one link affected you in the past? They work like a boss. Like, I still have some what I call legacy clients from when I first started, where I was only, you know, making a very small amount, and I've been using them recently and using up my whole monthly budget on them, and it's really hitting hard. They have a good service there, so it's worth it. I know it's a bit on the pricey side, but to eliminate the amount of time that you're gonna spend like doing outreach yourself and stuff like that, definitely worth it. So, and if you were in my maps course, I'm not sure if you are or not, but I have the #1 organic for that. And all I did with that was one set of PBN links from a Conquer gig and 5 links from Love to Link that they were generous enough to donate to me for that course. And just from the 5 links, I went from page nowhere to page 1. So, and then the PBN link to put me up to #1, and it stayed at #1 since. So Brandon says, was a cool session. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to start doing these once a week, I think, because I really enjoyed this too. So Carlos says, where can I find that blueprint to your link building process? Go on my YouTube channel at superstarseo.tv and find a video that says something like my exact local ranking process leaked. Now I'm screwed. Something like that. Or if somebody has it handy, they could drop it in the chat here. But it's on my YouTube channel at superstarseo.tv. Mike says, if not Kajabi, what would you use? For membership sites, I haven't tested anything else, but Kajabi's awesome. ClickFunnels has a membership site builder. I tried to use it. I thought it sucked. I don't know, maybe Optimize Press or Teachable, something like that. Louis said, great content, dude. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me to give things that people find interesting. I know your time is a premium, and there you go. So I'm glad that I am able to benefit you from it. Matt says, how should I do internal linking for my agency site? That's kind of a big question, but I like to have like a service page and then services and then a link to the services. So like a page that just says services and then it says like SEO, digital marketing, whatever, and then a link down to that. And then you can do locations. So like locations, and then it's like Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Columbia, and then links to those. So hopefully my air drawing there made that clear. But yeah, hopefully that'll help. I Googled the most handsome man in South Carolina, and you're second in the Google images right next to the Tinder pic. You got ranked all of them. I got to overtake that Tinder guy. So Sasa says, top man, nice to know you care for others starting out and helping them. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want to belabor that point, but I really do. I hope that shows. So Tim says, PM me, where would you have me start for me to be able to quit my job? First thing I would do would be to find a training that works well for you. Decide what you want to do, whether it's SEO, whether it's funnels, whether it's affiliate, client, whatever. The closest thing to quit it to, the fastest way, in my opinion, is consulting, because you can make some emails and some phone calls and have, an extra $5,000 a month in a week. That would be where I would start. But check out my YouTube channel as well. So those are kind of the places I would start. Earl says, I forgot to ask, how many links should I make daily? It just depends. Just follow like more of a month. I look at it as more of a monthly process, and I do, this and this my first month, this and this my second month, and so on. So Matt says, great session. Thank you. James says, appreciate all your answers, Chris. Thanks a lot, James. Salah says, I agree with branding, but what if you want to rank for niche products on the site? I still wouldn't rely on the authority. I think I'm referring to the right question here. I think I still wouldn't rely on the authority of the site to do that. I would rely on optimizing the pages properly and doing linking. So I don't know. I haven't done an e-commerce site really, but that's how I would handle it. I wouldn't worry about getting expired domain for it. That may be not what the answer you're looking for, but that's how I would handle it. Link to YouTube and local ranking video. Oh, thanks for linking to that. Mike says, yeah, cool format. I like it. Thanks. I did too. I was, like I said, I was nervous about it because I don't have the ideal recording setup here, but I'm going to keep doing it, I think. Jamie says, what's Kajabi and how do you use? I've never heard of it. I would Google, but you are right here. Kajabi is a membership site software that you can create like training products and membership sites, but it also has built-in like email marketing and landing pages, and I'm forgetting other things, but it can make like a regular website. So it's just so powerful to create, especially training and membership sites, but you can also create like a regular website with a blog on it too. Although I probably wouldn't do that because then you don't own it. Remember, I was talking about owning it. But for membership sites and marketing and things like that, you can even create funnels within it. It's just, to me, it's so much better than ClickFunnels. So Buzz says, great, Chris, great session. I went to get a drink and missed the link that you said moved from nowhere to first page. Is it in your services? No, it's not one of my services. It's love2.link, LOVETO.link. So that was for the site in my Maps course, which I assume that you're all signed up for. Cheap pop. Nathan says, hey, Chris, have you just dabbled around with affiliate sites before? What are your thoughts on link building for an affiliate site versus a local client site? So yeah, I started as an affiliate actually. I don't do it as much now because I'm not great at writing like copy and things like that. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I just don't like to do it. But as far as link building, I tend to be a little more aggressive with affiliate sites because, if it messes up, who cares? You know what I mean? You're not tanking somebody else's business. So I just start beating it up with PBNs and guest posts right away, and it tends to rank. And if you optimize the page properly, it is. There's a video on my channel about that too. It's how to rank with no links or something like that. And there's an example of one of my affiliate sites in there. So you might want to check that out. Jamie says, have you noticed Rank Brain having an effect yet? It's hard to really say. The thing that sucks about SEO sometimes is that it's hard to narrow down one thing, whether it's linking or algorithm or anything. So I can't really answer that for you. Ron says, will Rank Tracker track local rankings? Pro Rank Tracker? Yes. I think SERP does as well. Brandon says, for an e-commerce site, I would just buy a brandable domain and build the authority up myself. I've done this for a few clients, and they're doing amazing right now, $1,000 in sales a day, and they sell low-priced items. So there you go. Glad we had somebody else that could chime in on that. Vinay says, appreciate the answers. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks for being here. There's the link to love2.link. Thanks, Chris, for the great session. Going to be ordering some service from you in the coming day, week, months. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Carlo. Appreciate the business and appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me today. Jamie says, local maps, local video are really good, but I don't earn commission. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Scott says, if you weren't an SEO expert, what would you have liked to have been? My previous career, I was a political campaign operative. That's really what my passion would be. But problem with that is no matter how good of a job you do, you get fired in November, and it isn't a stable way to make an income. So I tried to find another way that I could make a living and make an impact at the same time. So, but that was, if money weren't an object, that's what I would be doing. Kamal says, great session, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm kind of at the end of the list now, and we've been at this for an hour. Any last minute questions? Sorry, your courses are really good for anyone who hasn't got them yet. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, you're saying that my courses, Local Video Mastery, Local Maps Mastery, are good. And if you're talking about an affiliate program for them, I do have one. So just ask in the group, and I'll show you where to sign up for that. And if you've made some sales and I haven't noticed, I'll go check that too. So Jeff says, love the no BS approach, man. Too much hype out there. Props for keeping it real. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, to me, their life's too short to be fake. So I appreciate that. Orlando says, any cheap value for money ways to promote an Amazon affiliate site? Any cheap value ways? Do Facebook ads. Like you could do a $5 a day Facebook ad, and if you have a high enough value product that you're promoting on your site, you can probably make a profit on that. When I was doing my first affiliate site, I got a lot of traffic from Facebook ads. Now, back then, you could get away with a lot with Facebook ads, and I had literally no clue what I was doing. But I've still made a lot of money just sending them to an AdSense site. So I'm not recommending that now, but or the AdSense. I'm not recommending Facebook ads for AdSense because I think that's against the rules now. But try it with Facebook ads. For whatever reason, people rely on SEO traffic for affiliate sites too much, in my opinion. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to grab one more drink, give you a chance to throw in any last minute questions, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, guys. Looks like that's about the end of the questions, and the number of people watching is starting to die off. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because my voice is about shot as it is. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. I know this isn't the ideal recording setup, but I enjoyed it, and I think we're going to keep doing it, and I think it was great for everybody. Do me a favor and check out my YouTube channel at superstarseo.tv and subscribe there. And, you can check out my courses and stuff at www.superstarseoacademy.com. And then, of course, there's my site, superstarseo.com/shop. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be doing this again next Friday, most likely. So thanks a lot. Oh, a couple last minute questions. So what do you recommend for SEO companies? I'm not sure what you mean for that. Thank you for your time. Great webinar. Thanks, Chris. All right. Yeah, Stivers, I'm not sure what you mean by that. So just ask again in the group and I'll take care of it. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot. My voice is really about to go. So we're going to wrap this up. See you next week, and I'll see you around the group. Take care.